Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading. This is your end of year bonus reading. We're just going to see what's going on from now until the end of the year. And in this first row, we're going to look at your general energies. You have this wombat spirit that says be at home on it. And everyone has had the Five of Cups in their first row. I kid you not. So, I don't know. Could be, part of me is like, okay, is this just boredom? Are people just bored because of, we have Mars retrograde, so it's like maybe things are slow, and the Five of Cups can be kind of like a card of disappointments, and maybe we're just feeling disappointed that things aren't moving forward as quickly as we want them to in certain areas of our life. For you, you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Wands. So I feel like some of you are kind of like looking at the cycles in your life and the things that you're doing, and you're maybe kind of hoping for a new cycle. Let's put it that way. The Five of Cups, normally the guy is crying over 3 cups and there's 2 cups behind him, and it kind of represents the fact that he's lost his taste for wine. He's crying over spilt wine because he no longer enjoys wine. So I feel for a lot of you, what you're looking for in this reading is very simple. You're looking for fulfillment at this time. Literally, right next to it, you have the Ace of Cups to the King of Cups to the Knight of Cups. Literally all cards of fulfillment. And this could be love, but it does not have to be. This could be any type of fulfillment. You could be looking for fulfillment in work or business or your career, or maybe you're retired and you're just looking for some projects to work on at home so that you feel like you have like a purpose. That's kind of like what I'm getting here. And with the Wheel of Fortune, I feel this is asking you to kind of like take control. Normally, there are kind of like 3 levels to the wheel on the Wheel of Fortune. And I always say that we kind of want to be at the center. We want to be on the middle wheel. Because when we're on that middle wheel, we can control things as they happen to us. We can, from that position, things will always be changing around us, but we can see those changes. We can avoid those changes before they happen, or we can kind of see what's coming. And that's kind of like the energy that I get for you here. It's like wanting to take control of the cycles. But I feel like there are some things, it's like there are some burdens, that you have been dealing with. This kind of gives me the vibes of like knowing that you want to improve your life, but having things that you have to deal with. It's kind of like one of those things where maybe you have a job, but you want to start a business. And it's like you have the burden where you're tired all day from the job, but then you come home and you want to work on your business, but maybe you're tired, right? It's kind of like you're trying to balance things out. That's really what I get here on the Ten of Wands. That's not what the Ten of Wands means, but again, I read intuitively, and that's what I'm getting here, is that you're trying to create some sort of balance between like 2 burdens, but it's like one burden is going to set you free. The other burden is kind of supporting you at this time. So it's kind of weird because I'm seeing the 2 sides as being necessary, right? This could also be in love as well. It's like maybe you're stuck in a love situation that you want to leave, but you're kind of like, what do I do here? With the Five of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups. What you do is you move towards your heart. I mean, the whole entire reading is literally saying that. The Nine of Cups is about, making a wish or kind of finding fulfillment. It is literally the card of fulfillment, and you have so much fulfillment here. It's crazy. But what I would say is that the Nine of Cups is about feeling fulfilled before you actually have the thing that you want. So I always say with the Nine of Cups, if we want love, we have to be in love before we can have love. And people always say, Chris, how is that possible? I always say, well, go love a dog, go love a cat, go love nature. Like, what do you love that you can do? You don't have to have the exact thing. If you want abundance, go pick pennies up in parking lots. You think I'm kidding? I am not joking. Like, literally, what can you do that would increase your abundance? Is it picking money up off the ground in a parking lot? Is it, is it just going and driving around a rich neighborhood, right? What is it? I would go do those things. I would be in the energy of what you want, because the longer you soak in that energy, the more likely it is you're going to get what you want. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Five of Wands here. See, conflicted. Five of Wands is conflict and competition, but there's like the thing with the Five of Wands is I always call it Indiana Jones. To me, it's a card of going on some sort of crazy adventure and getting your reward after the adventure is over. There are normally 5 people on the Five of Wands, and they are fighting. But they're using sticks. They're not using swords. So they are learning how to fight. And I feel for a lot of you, it's like you're conflicted about some sort of change, And, the funny thing is I feel like you're conflicted about a change that you're going to make anyway, based off the fact that you have the Chariot in the next row. So, it's like some of you have been thinking about doing something. Maybe you've been thinking about leaving a relationship, a job, starting a business, whatever, doesn't matter. And I feel like you're going to do it anyway. So I don't know if that helps you or not, because actually I think it will, because maybe you've been going back and forth here, and I kind of feel that helps. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups, walking away, right? Knowing that you have to walk away from something so that you can have true fulfillment in your life with that Eight of Cups. So I feel there's like a lot of fulfillment coming in for you. Next, in the area of the biggest change that's coming in for you right now, you have this first quarter moon in Virgo. It says, assess the situation. I feel like you need to look at, I think you need to put things into perspective from the Nine of Cups perspective. I feel this is asking you to look at the situation that you're in your life and say, like, am I being fulfilled or not? Am I, is this creating a good energy or a bad energy? And only you can answer that question. But I feel like that's what this card is saying. It's like saying, look at the situation that you're in. You have the Ace of Cups, the Emperor, and the Chariot. Very, very positive. I do feel that there could be love coming in for you. That could definitely be a big change. I mean, look at that top row. You have the Five of Cups, so definitely having been disappointed. But Ace of Cups, new love offer. King of Cups, Nine of Cups, definitely could be like a knight in shining armor that's coming in for you here if you want love. I don't necessarily feel water. It could be a water sign, but again, you have a lot of earth here. You have fire here as well. Aquarius stands out to me. So, could be any sign that's coming in for you. But I would say it's very fulfilling. So, again, this could be a big change that's coming in for you. I also feel that feeling fulfilled is something that is changing in your life. It's like you finally understand what action to take. That's what I'm getting on the Emperor. I almost feel like this is your energy. The Emperor, he's ready to go at a moment's notice. On a traditional Emperor and the traditional Rider-Waite, he has armor on underneath his cloak. And the armor kind of represents the fact that he is ready to go, no matter what, at a moment's notice, And he's sitting there on his throne, but he's ready to take action. And you have the Chariot. The Chariot is the action. I feel like this is the action that you could be taking, the move or the moves that you could be making here towards something new. The Chariot, you can see on this Chariot, she actually does have reins. On a traditional Chariot, the Chariot driver does not have reins attached to the Chariot. So, I feel like you're taking control. The Chariot says where there's a will, there's a way. So if you want something, then if you will it, you will have it. Plain and simple. The other interesting thing that I see in your reading here is that right next to the Chariot, you have the Magician. In a traditional Rider-Waite deck, the Chariot driver looks very similar to the Magician and is even holding the same wand that the Magician is holding. And the Chariot itself can represent as above, so below. But I am getting here that your words are going to be very important. Again, Nine of Cups, be in the energy of what you want. That includes using positive words on yourself and speaking about things like as you want them to be. Don't speak negatively about the things that you want. With the Ace of Cups, you have the King of Wands. See, I do feel like there's a little bit, it's kind of funny because your next row is the unexpected. You have the King of Cups there. I do feel that if someone is approaching you, that it could be a little unexpected. I feel like they come in a little fast. I feel like they come in a little bit hot and heavy, a little bit more kind of like on the aggressive side of things. Not in a bad way. I just think they're, bold. I feel like they're just a bold person. I don't know how else to say it. There's nothing else that I'm getting here. I feel there's a lot of desire if you want love. I would also say that this is encouraging all of you to move towards your desires. The Ace of Cups is your heart. The Knight of Cups at the end in this deck, this is the Tarot of the Mystical Moments, is holding on to the heart. And I really feel this reading is saying there are things that you desire to do. And the King of Wands, he doesn't really care how he gets somewhere. If he desires to do something, he's going to do it, plain and simple. So I kind of feel adopting that attitude would be very good for you. With the Emperor, you have the Two of Pentacles. This Two of Pentacles, you can see there's like two skeletons kissing. So even though it's a Two of Pentacles, definitely feel it could be love coming in for you. Two of Pentacles also work hard, play hard. So I would make sure that if you're working hard, that you're also balancing out the energy and that you're playing hard as well. We do have Mars going retrograde. And again, Mars retrograde is never a good time to like overwork, right? There's kind of like a little bit of a difference here though. With Mars retrograde, the trick is that certain things will just work. They'll flow, right? And maybe other things, there will be a bunch of obstacles or there will be a lot of resistance. And the trick with Mars retrograde is to make sure that you're avoiding things that you feel like you have to force and to put more energy into the things that flow, put more energy into the things that just work. So Mars retrograde doesn't stop anything. It just, kind of maybe slows things down that are slowing us down in the first place. And it speeds things up that speed us up in the first place. So it kind of makes those moments more obvious. With the Chariot, you have the Three of Swords. I feel some of you are running away from something. Some of you, I do get that you could be walking away from a love situation, but I feel what you're walking away from is a person who is a burden. Again, right next to it, you have the Ten of Wands. So you have the Ten of Wands, Eight of Cups, Chariot, Three of Swords right here. And so I feel that some of you could be leaving a relationship, but it's almost like you want to in the first place. So I don't really feel that's a bad thing. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Milk and Honey card. I love this card. It is a card of fulfillment. So clearly, I feel that there is unexpected fulfillment coming in for you, and it could be in love. Definitely a new beginning, because you have the Magician in this row as well. But a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. You have the King of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Magician. I do feel there could be like an unexpected change in direction in your life. This is not like a bad thing. The Seven of Pentacles, I love the Seven of Pentacles. Normally, he's looking at the Seven Pentacles and he's saying to himself, is the juice worth the squeeze? Or, do I keep working on what I've been working on, or do I move on to something else? So some of you could be deciding that something is no longer worth it, or you could be deciding that something is no longer worth your energy and you're just like moving towards something bigger and better is what this looks like to me. So I feel definitely a change in direction. You have the Magician, and again, the Magician is like a new beginning, and I do feel that there could be a new beginning that you have attracted coming in for you here with the Magician. I also feel like you need to use your powers of manifestation, which we kind of talked about with the Nine of Cups showing up here. It's like you're manifesting things very quickly. I feel like you're manifesting things with your words very quickly as well. So I would make sure to pay attention to that. I would make sure to, again, use your powers of manifestation to get the things that you want here with this energy. I feel there is something new entering into your life quite unexpectedly. And it could be this right here. It could be a King of Cups. So, if you want love, could be a person coming in for you. It's kind of weird that pretty much every single reading that I've done that has talked about love has had the King of Cups. And sometimes I don't necessarily think it's like saying, oh, there's a water sign coming in. Sometimes I feel more the universe is like saying, this is the energy that everyone is attracted to right now. Maybe it's like a collective energy or whatever. And so I feel you could be attracting someone who's very kind, caring, nurturing, someone who has very deep emotions as well. King of Cups is on the positive side of things. He's not afraid to express his emotions in a healthy way. So you could be just attracting a person who's like that, and it could be any sign. So if you want love, definitely available to you here. I also feel for some of you, I do get like a pretty intense energy here. There's always a boat on the King of Cups. The boat on the King of Cups represents uncharted territory. It represents a time where we would get on boats and we wouldn't really know like where we were going, like our great ancestors, right? They would get on boats and they wouldn't know, like before we had maps, right? They would just get on boats and go. So I feel for some of you, you could be kind of making a pretty radical change here. And it feels like in work to me where maybe you've had a job and maybe you just quit and you go to something where you have no clue what you're doing. And I don't know, I feel like that'll turn out very well for you actually, if that's what you're doing. And again, that's only going to be for some of you, but I feel like some of you are making a very big change here. With the King of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, card of independence. I feel like this is kind of like your state that you have been in. I feel like you're kind of perfectly independent. I feel like you're perfectly happy doing what you've been doing and like all this other stuff, right? But I also feel there could be like, that if a person approaches you here with the King of Cups, that you're kind of like open to it. I kind of like the Nine of Pentacles for love as well, because normally she has 3 pentacles on one side, 6 on the other. And it just says she's willing to give 3 pentacles to any situation, but she's going to keep 6 for herself. And so it's kind of like you're not over investing in anything at this time. I feel like you're kind of doing things very intelligently. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Cups. Definitely could be unexpected love coming in for you. And again, if it's not love, I would say this is like some sort of passion. You have the Ace of Cups twice here. And again, that Knight of Cups I'm going to show you in a minute, who's holding on to the heart. It's like, I feel some of you could be moving very quickly towards a passion. The Ace of Cups is just something that you can do forever. It's like, I think that it's one of those things where some of you could be working on something that doesn't exhaust you. You could be starting a business or getting a job that truly fulfills you. And because of that, it's like you have a never ending source of energy. And that's what I see here. With the Magician, you have the Knight of Swords. Someone could be rushing in. Remember what I said about that King of Wands? I got like a very bold, assertive energy from this person. So I feel they could be rushing in with communication with that Knight of Swords for sure. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this husband marriage card. There you go. And it doesn't matter if you want a wife or whatever. I don't care. This could be whatever. Whatever gender you're into. It doesn't matter. This is just marriage. You have this dolphin card that says playfulness and cooperation. I would definitely say with the Two of Pentacles, again, work hard, play hard, because Mars retrograde, we need to do things in balance, but definitely could be marriage. You have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords here. So again, if you're looking for love, I feel like your future self is saying there's like a knight in shining armor coming in for you. I feel like this is more talking about speed for some reason. Normally, Knight of Cups to me is like someone who takes your breath away, someone who sweeps you off your feet. I feel like this is more talking about, I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I do feel that there's someone who's moving very quickly towards you. It could be you moving towards someone else. So, take it how it resonates. But I feel someone kind of like moving quickly into your life. Again, you can see how this Knight of Cups is like hugging on that heart right there. So there is definitely an energy of needing to make sure that you are fulfilled at this time, whatever that means for you. And even if you can only, even if there are some activities or some things that you do for, maybe you can only do it for like 5 minutes a day, something that fulfills you, I would almost be developing a practice of fulfillment at the end of the year here based off this reading. It's like saying the more fulfilled you are, the more likely it is that you're going to attract the things that you want in your life. But, I don't think, some of you, like I said, at the beginning of the reading with the Ten of Wands, it's like maybe you have to work, maybe you have a business, and you can't just be blissed out all the time, which, duh, we're humans, we have stuff to do. But I would say if you could just carve out just little bits throughout the day of fulfillment, whatever that means for you, I would be doing that for sure. You have the Queen of Pentacles here. I feel like this is saying you have all the resources necessary to do whatever it is you want right now. I also feel this is saying you have the resources for love. With the Nine of Pentacles, maybe you're like not sure if you have enough energy to give to a new connection, but I feel like this is saying you do. And you also have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords has come up for a lot of people right now. Two of Swords, I feel, is just saying that there are new opportunities. I kind of get like a bored energy here on this one. She looks kind of bored. She's got her hand under her chin. And so I feel like some of you are just kind of like looking, kind of like bored of the options in your life. And I feel this is actually your future self is saying there's much more exciting options coming in for you. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. It is a card of needing to set yourself free. So I would just make sure that you're not like keeping yourself trapped in any area of your life with the Eight of Swords. If you're bumping up against an obstacle, make sure you know that there's other ways you can overcome the obstacle. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Sun. This is a card of happiness, joy, enlightenment, good things. And again, when the Sun comes up in a reading, it makes the whole entire reading positive. So I feel like there's like a lot of happiness coming in for you. And with the Two of Swords, you have the King of Swords. King of Swords is a card of discernment, and it's also a card of knowledge and wisdom. But he can be kind of like strict. And I feel with that Two of Swords, it's saying, you might be getting to a point where you're like, okay, is there, she looks bored, like I said, on that Two of Swords. And I feel like you're getting to a point where you're saying like, okay, is there anything exciting coming in for me? Is life exciting? Can life be exciting? I have all those questions popping into my head here, Sagittarius. And I feel like this is saying like, don't get to a point where you're kind of like bored of life, right? I feel like you need to make sure that you're doing things that fulfill you. I'm going to pull 6 of these other Oracle cards now, and we're going to get 6 different messages for the end of the year, anything that we missed. You have this challenge yourself to be stronger than your challenges card. So, pretty much every single person has had some sort of message about needing to either overcome obstacles or push through something. That's where the real growth happens. So I would definitely do that. You have this rejection is for your protection card. So if you experience rejection, which we kind of saw at the beginning of the reading with the Five of Cups, I don't think that's true for all of you, but for some of you, for most of you, I feel like you're doing the rejecting. But it's one of those things. Sometimes I think we stay in relationships too long when we know that we should be rejecting the other person. I kind of get that here. Next, you have this card that says, spend less time worrying about your appearance. You are enough. Marissa Peers says you are enough. So maybe you need to say that you are enough multiple times a day. Next in these career cards, you have this leadership card. It says you are stepping into a role as a leader. You are ready. Love it. So definitely time to step up. And again, this is probably having to do with something that could be very fulfilling. You have that chariot. And again, the chariot is kind of like a card of leadership. He's normally leaving behind the city behind him, and he's going somewhere new. You have this unlocking card. It says, what was locked can now be opened. Love it. This is kind of like overcoming an obstacle. It kind of reminds me of the Eight of Swords as well. Sometimes I think we do experience the Eight of Swords. We feel stuck, but the timing isn't right. So I feel like something is kind of opening up here for you. You also have this undecided card. It says dealing with fluctuating goals and or income. I feel like this is actually very simple. If you are kind of going back and forth with your goals, or if you kind of go in one direction and go another, I feel like this is kind of saying, number one, you could set smaller goals and just accomplish things. I feel like just like the act of winning, even if they're just small little goals, will kind of get you moving forward. So, I feel like this is saying it might be better to pick a direction at this time and work towards it and see what happens instead of like jumping around from idea to idea to idea. So that's what I do there. We're going to pull 3 cards now, and I'm going to answer one question. So if you have a question, great. Feel free to pause this reading. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm going to put all 3 cards together, kind of like a personalish reading. So if you have a question, pause now because I'm going to read the cards right now. You have the Judgment card, the Five of Wands, and the Hermit. I feel for some of you, this is about answering a calling. The Five of Wands to me is a card that I call Indiana Jones. To me, it is a card of going on an adventure. We talked about this at the beginning of your reading. And I feel the Hermit is also a rite of passage. He has to go through darkness to find his inner light. And that Judgment card is about answering the call. Normally, the people on the Judgment card are in their coffins, and inside the coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. So I feel like you kind of have to like go towards your new life here. I feel like you have to step into something new, like a new opportunity. And like go towards a new life. Magician, Chariot, like a lot of new beginning stuff here is encouraging you to do something new, because I feel like that's where all the success is going to be. You could be conflicted, or again, seeing this new opportunity as a little bit of work. And literally you have this card here that says challenge yourself to be stronger. So I feel that's where all your success is going to come at the end of the year here. But pretty interesting, Sag. So thank you for being here, Sagittarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.